All right, it's at 9:44. Haley Terpstra with Herbal Meadows Botanicals down near the Kalamazoo area is joining us this morning to talk about her business, but also talk about a really cool workshop coming up this week on Wednesday, right?
Right.
Okay, so tell us all about, the workshop is elderberry syrup and mocktails. First of all, talk about your business. What do you do down at your business?
Okay, so my name is Haley Terpstra. I own Herbal Meadows Botanicals. I am a forager, herbalist, and beekeeper, and I'm trying to incorporate all that into one and make a living out of it.
Incredible. What does that mean? Talk to us about what foraging means for our viewers who don't necessarily know.
Yeah, so foraging is wild harvesting plants and herbs from our lands, and then using them to help make yourself feel better. So here I have some wild foraged herbs that I've collected. I have rose hips, elderberries, and elderflower.
Are these all local from here in West Michigan?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
That's
how
pretty cool because you can see that a lot of the herbs you can harvest from West Michigan. And I think that's part of how cool your business is. And this week you actually have a workshop, so the elderberry syrup and mocktail workshop. Tell us about that. What are we going to do at the workshop on Wednesday?
Yeah, so it's a really exciting workshop. It's a lot of fun. We, as a group, we make a huge batch of elderberry syrup and then we simmer it down, and that takes about 45 minutes. And while that's happening, we enjoy mocktails, and we talk about native plants you can incorporate into your syrup for immunity purposes. And we share space with like-minded people, and each participant gets to take home the recipe and a lifetime worth of knowledge.
Okay, well, let's walk us through how we are going to make the mocktail on Wednesday.
Okay, super simple. So we take 1 ounce of the elderberry syrup.
Okay.
And then we take 2 ounces of freshly squeezed orange juice.
Okay.
And we put it in our cup. We add a little splash of some maple syrup, which is also
a little sweetener.
Local to our area.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we have some garnishments. We have some peppermint, blueberries, oranges, and lemons, and then we top it off with some carbonated water.
Okay, yeah, we love a little San Pellegrino
That's
top
right.
off there. Okay, so elderberry, I know I've heard of it. I don't necessarily know what it is or what it does.
Benefits
yeah,
of
what
it?
are the benefits?
Right, so elderberry is really good for you. Since it's a native plant, we have a lot of access to it. It's really good for immunity, cold and flu, so it can help you kind of sustain immunity so you don't catch a ton of cold and flu that year, and also will help you get better faster if you are sick. It's also good for lowering blood pressure. It has antioxidants. It's full of free radicals, and the list just goes on.
Yeah, something that you did note at the very bottom of your event thing here is that for those who may be pregnant, so our good old Sam Jacks should maybe stay away from the elderberry. Why is that?
That's right. So elderberry can kind of upset the stomach sometimes, and so you just want to be really careful when using it when pregnant. Some people do, but it's just suggested as an overall recommendation that you don't ingest when pregnant. So.
And there are a couple like different herbs and teas and stuff, like raspberry leaf tea, I think they say can induce labor, so we don't want that to happen
yeah, we
yet.
don't need that.
There are different things beyond even elderberry that you have to be cautious with pregnant. How did you get involved in all of this?
Well, I've had health problems throughout my life, and that kind of led me onto the natural path of healing. And then one thing led to another, and then when we all had that long periods of time off, I got deep into the foraging and the beekeeping and the herbalism, and so I've been in business since 2022 and been working on this since then.
Talk to us about your journey with it. I mean, you said that some of these things have helped you. How have you seen the benefits personally?
Yeah, I visit the doctor less. Before I started doing natural healing, I would have like 7 days in the hospital at a time. So I hardly visit the doctor now, and I feel better. I have more energy, and I get sick less.
Okay.
Incredible. What is it about elements of our environment that are natural, putting those things back into our body that might be a better choice than taking medicine in some instances? Of course, there's still a need for medical doctors and all of those things, but what is it about things that are locally grown right here in West Michigan?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Things that are growing in our area are going to help with allergies, first of all.
Okay.
Of course, I always promote that being a
I've always
beekeeper.
heard like honey, you
Yeah,
know,
honey.
like, natural honey or pure honey from your area.
Exactly. So the bees are foraging, and then they're bringing back the pollen that is also causing us to have allergies.
You got some honey right there.
So there's a lot of immunity properties within that, and then also by ingesting those native plants, we can not only gain health benefits but immunity to the allergies.
I think it's interesting that, you know, some herbs and plants that we have just in some cases right outside of our back door might help our bodies. Can you talk to us about the native plants that, you know, people might not know could help them out, and they're just right in their backyard? Talk about that.
Yeah, so elderberry is super easy to grow. It's really easy to propagate, so if you get cuttings of just a piece of wood from an elderberry plant, you can just stick it into the dirt and it'll grow by itself. Also, we have rose hips that are native. We also have things like dandelion root, burdock root, and a ton of other things that grow that we know, some people know as weeds. So chickweed, dandelions, dandelion root, those kind of things are also really beneficial.
And I'm curious,
cool.
I don't know if have you had conversations with doctors about these things? You know, what sort of things have they talked to you about? How has that conversation gone if you've had those types of conversations?
Typically, Western medicine and herbalism don't really mix too well.
Okay.
So it's a very light conversation, but it's kind of a balance between the two, so you need both,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Absolutely. And a conversation that a lot of people are having. I mean, even just being pregnant, like those are some of the first things that you look for. Like, what are natural things that I can put into my body that are healthy for me without all these processed ingredients and all the things? And so that's fantastic. Are you guys going to mix them up here?
Yeah, hold on. Should we make a little cocktail
Yeah,
while we talk
let's
about
do
it?
it. Okay, let's do it.
And while you're doing that, talk about being a woman-owned business, because we know that Women's History Month is coming up in March here in the next couple of days. What does it mean to you to be able to be a woman-owned business and be successful in what you're doing here?
Yeah, so I find strength and passing that on within being a woman-owned business. So passing on the knowledge, doing skill shares. Elderberry syrup workshops are not the only workshops or things that I teach. And so being a woman-owned business is more important now, more than ever. And so it means a lot to me to share within my community and bring those feminine traits to the
There you go. All right, so we're making the mocktail. This is kind of what you're going to experience if you go to this workshop. So we do an ounce of the orange juice, or is it 2 ounces?
2 ounces of this.
2 ounces of the orange juice, and I'll help you out here.
Great.
And this is the elderberry,
elderberry
syrup. And this is what you guys will actually be learning to do. So actually,
And you'll simmer that in the class, correct?
Yeah.
You'll make your own syrup?
Yep, so the recipe that we have here is actually a special recipe that I have.
Okay.
And then we'll be doing like a more simple version of it in the class, but we do enjoy this same kind of mocktail.
Okay.
And then just a little splash,
Little splash of
maple
syrup.
Look how nice that syrup
I
came
know.
out.
And then this is Witt's maple syrup. I work with them at the Kalamazoo Farmers Market.
Okay.
They're out of Gaylord. They have like the best syrup. And then we just top it off with the carbonated water.
A little bubbly in
A
there.
little bubbly.
Now you said you can add some other spices
like to
into
try?
it if you
I
want
would
to.
actually love to try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
you can
stir it up a
you
little
can
bit.
add other things to it. You could add some shredded ginger or even some ground ginger. You could
good.
change
Delicious.
it.
I know you can't have it, but it's good. It tastes really good.
Thank you. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could always make it a cocktail instead of a mocktail. And so this is what this
Let me stir
does.
that back up and
This
try again.
shows participants how to
it's good.
ingest their elderberry syrup in a fun way.
Yes, absolutely.
Just really quick, for people at home who want to find you otherwise, social media, website, or if you want to talk about your workshop, where can people go to sign up for that? I know that this one might be full, but there's another one later on in March too.
Yes, yes. So everything is under Herbal Meadows Botanicals. So whether you visit me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, I also have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
You can also buy the tickets for the workshops on my website. And we have a workshop coming up this Wednesday from 6 to 8 in Mattawan. And then we also have one March 27th from 6 to 8 in Mattawan. It's $45 a person. and there usually is a deadline of a week prior to the event to purchase your tickets.
Okay. All right.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for
keep that
being
in
here
mind.
with
Yes,
us.
thank you so much. We really
Thank you.
appreciate your time, Haley. And of course, you can find all that information on her social media pages there.